A three-way beef in the NFL. How do you like your beef, Francis?
I like it sauteed.
Medium rare. This is a nice medium rare beef. We have to start ranking our beefs. If it's well done, if it's a scorched beef, if it's rare, if it's full of red and
beef.
raw, if it's fake beef,
Like
it's real
tofu.
beef. Tofu should not exist. It's really unfortunate it does.
Eggplant.
Josh Norman, Demaryius Thomas, and Odell Beckham Jr. technically getting into it with each other. So Josh Norman, first of all, gracing the first half of ESPN the Magazine's NFL football preview for this upcoming season, where he first took shots at just about everybody: Roger Goodell, Odell Beckham Jr., Demaryius Thomas. Let's start with the one on Odell Beckham Jr. Because last year, if you remember, they were getting into some slap fights on the. And I don't mean slap fights in the derogatory way. I mean slap fights in like they were slapping each other's helmets, literally. On Fighting with Odell Beckham Jr., everybody saw what he was. People from around the league were coming up to me afterward and saying, quote, "How does that crap all the time?" He lost so much respect from people for that little tantrum. I've already got a couple people telling me, okay, I've got to hit out on him. It's going to be rough for him this year, and he brought it on himself. He's skilled and talented. I won't take that away from him, but he's never been through any adversity in his life. It's like, when are you ever going to grow up? Next, his next shot, or actually not a shot, it was a boost of himself on where he thinks he stands amongst the NFL's cornerbacks. The best cornerback in the league. Very well could be. Very well might be, too. And lastly, don't take a shot at the Super Bowl champion. I'm lining up across Broncos wide receiver Demaryius Thomas in the Super Bowl. Quote, "I don't know what he was out there for. He was supposed to be an all-world guy, and I shut him down." And number 26, Demaryius Thomas with the nice Twitter middle finger to the world. Where's yours, young fella?
That's a good response.
It's a good response.
Josh Norman, I'm a huge fan of his. I thought that last year he was phenomenal. I vocalized my thoughts on how the Panthers were willingly allowing him to leave. I know there was some conflicts in there. I mean, Josh Norman is a confrontational guy. There was the beef last year between him and fellow teammate Cam Newton, which didn't seem to kind of hinder their performance all that much, managing to make it to the Super Bowl and having a great year all round. But I think that part of his game is he likes to get inside his opponent's head. He's got that Richard Sherman style to him. Richard Sherman, when he does it, again, kind of people don't really bat an eyelid anymore because he is very confident and likes to put forward himself as the best. And if you don't think you're the best, then why are you in that sport in the first place? You need to strive for that level. And I don't think there's any problem with Josh Norman stating that. I think that he's obviously weighing up his opponents for next year and he's trying to ruffle a few feathers.
Yeah, well, he moved over. He's going to see a lot more of Odell Beckham Jr. this year because he's on the Redskins. So he's going to see him twice, once in Washington, once in New York. And that's going to be, I'm sure they're going to build up that storyline going into the game just because the beef between the two of them. And look, Josh Norman very well could be the best cornerback in the league. I just think my big thing from last year was that he just needs to prove it over an extended period of time. One season is not enough to prove that you are the best shutdown corner in the game. But considering there's a lot of great shutdown corners in the game itself. But I'm all in favor of someone like Josh Norman saying he is, as you just mentioned. If you don't think you're the best, what are you doing there? And on top of that, I feel like Josh Norman moving over to the Redskins is actually like more than an immediate need. The Panthers had a pretty damn good defense all around, not enough to stop the Broncos from putting up points on them. The Broncos defense was too good in the Super Bowl anyway. However, the Redskins did not have the defense that the Panthers had. Odell Beckham Jr.'s response to this entire thing was completely dodging the question. When asked about Josh Norman, when asked about the fight and the beef and everything coming up into the season, he responded with, "Oh, we can talk about my charity if you want." Complete redirection. Political move.
He obviously doesn't value it as anything worth substance, and I give him respect for that. Why?
I respect both these guys.
I respect someone who likes to play the mind games. It's all part of the sport, and I also respect someone that's just like, what has this got to do with anything? Like, the season hasn't even started yet. This is just someone who's just trying to create some sort of media speculation and a rivalry, which is going to be interesting for some people who's tuning in, but he's focused on the season ahead. I mean, he's already had a few distractions this season with Khloe Kardashian trying to get in and amongst.
Right, and he lived with Drake, and they were like living together.
So I mean, he was hanging with Bayern Munich players, doing some keepy ups as he was showcasing. He is just one of these guys that just is probably good at everything. I hate those guys. Always is one of the people in your group of friends that is great at everything, like every single sport.
Oh, every sport, right.
Yeah.
Right.
I have valued myself on being that before I came to the United States, and then I had to use my hands. And I just didn't. Only thing I can use my hands for is golf.
Ah, that makes sense. And if you could use your feet, you'd probably be even better. That's why you should try foot golf.
Foot golf is great.
All right. Comment below. What do you think of the three-way triangular beef? Tri-tip steak, if you will. Josh Norman, podcast. We have a podcast, guys. That's right. We have a podcast. We have a podcast. It is coming. It's going to be through TuneIn FM. It's going to be an amazing, quite a fun journey through some tangents, the things you might not get on the YouTube channel. You're going to see over there. We're going to talk about not just the upcoming sports of the weekend, recapping the week before, sports news, guests, fun, friends, family.
We would probably, if this was the podcast, we would have probably went on a 10-minute tangent of what we were eating and how we sauteed our beef and what kind of beef we were ranking.
It might be
along the lines.
That's right, food podcast.
It could be a cook show.
Who knows? A cook show, a cook audio channel.
Cooking audio. So what you need to hear right now is I'm actually cooking the steak. Shh. You would never know.
More information to follow. A clip will be up on Friday on how you can get to everything with our podcast, and you can follow it there. We'll see you there. Actually, technically we will. I'm done.